Hello and welcome to another episode of Spotlight. I am with Saurabh Kumar, who is part of the ITGT team. Saurabh, today we are here to talk about kulcha. People might wonder why we are going to talk about kulcha being a sports team, but yeah, jokes apart, silly jokes apart. It's about Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, our wristband duo. Before the 2019 World Cup, in the lead up to, if you remember right, after the Champions Trophy final in 2017, where India lost to Pakistan, questions were asked about the effectivity of having two wrist spinners in the team, and India found Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, two wrist spinners of good class, high class wrist spinners, and they used them until the 2019 World Cup. They played the 2019 World Cup together. Before the 2019 World Cup, they played 34 matches together. But something changed after the 2019 World Cup. They have played only 3 matches together since the 2019 World Cup. Since the start of 2022, which is what we call as the build-up to the ODI World Cup, right? Like 1.5 years before the World Cup, they have played only 1 match together. Saurabh, now tell me, why is India reluctant to use two wristies together? Is it because of the batting problems? Are the batters, the inefficiency in the batting unit costing the bowlers at all times? So you are a big ardent fan of R. Ashwin. He suffered the same fate in Test cricket, especially in overseas tour, in England tour, and in the World Test Championship final. Is something similar happening to the wrist spin combination of India, especially at a time when so many teams across the world are looking for wrist spinners?
Definitely, as you pointed out. Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav, fantastic wrist spin duo. Yeah. But we have hardly seen them playing together in last 1 or 2 years. And as you have said it, I wanted to point it out also. Yeah. Our top order has failed to provide good starts and in any format. You talk about tests, ODIs, T20Is, our top order has failed. And what has team management done to improve that? Yeah. They have not replaced the top order. They have not changed players in top order. What they do is they replace the bowlers. Yeah. What they do is they bring in players who can bat also. Players like Akshay Patel come in at the expense of Yuzvendra Chahal. Yeah. Players like, you see, Kuldeep Yadav is getting a chance ahead of Yuzvendra Chahal. If you saw the West Indies ODIs, he was getting a chance because he could hit those runs, a couple of boundaries in the lower order. Yes. And whenever India fails, it comes down to the long tail and the failure of bowlers. But if you're not playing your two most successful spinners who have been brilliant since 2019 World Cup, if you look at the stats, they are your two most successful spinners in ODIs. They need to play together. In West Indies ODIs, you could have played them together, but no, you played Kuldeep Yadav. Chahal was benched for 3 games. He comes back in the T20I series. You saw what they both did in the last T20I which they played, the third T20I between India and West Indies. These two players need to play in the Asia Cup and the ODI World Cup if you want to pick up 10 wickets in the match, win more games, and most importantly, your top order should be sure of themselves. Yes, you pick your 5 best bowlers, will give you the runs on the board where you can come and defend. But no, that is not been happening. You saw Virat Kohli, he came back in form like 1 year ago. Shubman Gill has been on off. Rohit Sharma has not been able to convert those starts. And players like KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, they have been injured and out of team. Rishabh Pant is also, unfortunately, he suffered an accident. He is out and injured. So your batting problems have led to a different game in the bowling.
And if you look at it, Saurabh, when Yuzvendra Chahal was selected for the West Indies tour, I was happy, you were happy. But he did not play a single ODI in that 3-match series. Despite, since the 2019 World Cup final, these two have played only 3 matches together, but they have played, not alongside each other quite a few times. And both Kuldeep and Chahal are in the top 5 wicket takers for India in ODI since the 2019 World Cup final. And at a time when everybody is looking for wristies, why not go for that attacking option? Place trust in your bowlers, let them run through sides. It's not like Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav haven't done that in the past. If you remember the 2018 South Africa tour, they wrecked South African batting unit and emerged as the leading wicket takers. So you can do that, especially when you play at spin-friendly conditions in the ODI World Cup at home or in Asia Cup when you play Sri Lanka. And like you pointed out, West Indies series was a right series against a not so powerful West Indies side, not so powerful batting unit to try out these combinations. But instead, what you did, I agree, Ravindra Jadeja is an indispensable member of the team now. Regardless of how he bowls, he will deliver with the ball as well. But his batting is going to be crucial for India at number 7, number 8, number 6. But why Akshar Patel when you already have a Ravindra Jadeja? Why go for the defensive option? Can Akshar flight it or turn it like he does in Test cricket? No. So go for that attacking option is something that baffled me during the ODI series. Saurabh, and you also spoke about, Saurabh has always spoken about, Chahal eventually not finishing, the chances of Chahal eventually finishing without playing a World Cup. So that there are chances for that. Saurabh, can you list can you just list out how Chahal has missed out these World Cup berths in the past?
Definitely. Yeah. So we all remember what happened in last two T20 World Cups. 2021 IPL. So there were two phases. One which happened in April, May, and the second which happened just before the T20 World Cup. So Chahal was not very good in the first phase. He picked 8 wickets in 8 games, rightly. And then he was picked for India games also. He did not perform. So just before the World Cup IPL started, the second phase of IPL in 2021 started. Yeah. The team was announced for T20 World Cup and he was not picked. When he got to know that he was not picked, he came out all guns blazing. Yes. And he was phenomenal for RCB in that IPL. Yes. He finished with 23 wickets overall. Yes. But he did not play that World Cup.
And whom did we select?
We selected Rahul Chahal and Varun Chakravarti. I mean, no, I'm not raising questions on how they are. Yes. But Chahal being your number one leg spinner, yes, he should have been there. Then comes the 2022 World Cup. Yes. Before that, just before the IPL, Chahal was supposed to finish his IPL career with RCB. He was a fan favorite, picking up those wickets at Chinnaswamy, batting friendly Chinnaswamy. But RCB ditched him and instead picked up Mohammad Siraj. Yes. Then Chahal went to Rajasthan Royals. He became a Royal. Yeah. And you see what he was waiting for. When the IPL came, he picked up 32 wickets, broke records at will. Yeah. Then he was brought back in the Indian team. He had very good relation with the Indian captain, Rohit Sharma, newly appointed India captain. He picked up wickets whenever he was called up to. Yeah. But even then, when the T20 World Cup squad for 2022 announced, he was there in the squad. He did not play a single game. Yeah. Why? I mean, a player of his caliber, every team would love to have a leg spinner like Chahal in their team. Exactly. But India, despite having that player, they have not been picking up. You remember, he is your highest wicket taker in T20Is. Yeah. He is your highest wicket taker in the history of IPL. Yes. What else does he need to do? Yeah. Now, the 2023 World Cup and Asia Cup are around the corner. You could have played him in West Indies, given him the match practice he needs, but he did not get a single chance. I mean, what is the team management up to? Nobody knows.
If you're valuing IPL performances, if you're picking players based on IPL performances, Chahal should be the first name in the team sheet because of his IPL performances over the years and his performances for the national team whenever he has called up. I agree, like you pointed out, there were some dip in his form, but he has managed to overcome that. And Kuldeep and Chahal share a good rapport as well. But I don't know whether he'll miss the World Cup bus again. But let's finish with this question, sir. If there is a situation, a dry pitch, hot baking conditions in India during the World Cup, and if you had to play 3 spinners in your side, who will be your first choice 3 spinners?
I will definitely see. If you talk about 3 spinners, Ravindra Jadeja is an automatic pick because of his batting and fielding attributes. The way he adds up in your batting and fielding art. But the next 2 spinners, if you ask me, should be your 2 spinners, Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, Kulcha. But I don't think the team management thinks like that.
Also, Saurabh, with the injuries to Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, I don't think he's going to make it back to the ODI World Cup this year. We all wish him a speedy recovery, but it's it's little difficult to expect him to come back to the ODI World Cup. But due to all these uncertainties and also around the world, everybody is having a long tail. We discussed that issue in our Sledging Room podcast. What do you mean by a long tail? But I still do think your best batters, some of the greatest ODI batters of this era, you have them in your lineup and you should trust them to deliver and go for a very, very, very attacking bowling option. And that's my way. That's how I think India can go on to win the title. I hope Kuldeep and Chahal play, but let's wait and watch. We will bring you more such updates and more a busy season is coming up with the US Open, with the Asia Cup, with the World Cup, with the Asian Games. Keep watching us and we'll bring you all the updates on India Today's Spotlight episode.